Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be working on this 1984 Peterbilt 359. She's a honey, just over 2.5 million miles. But today we're going to be replacing the passenger side kingpin. I wanted to show you my process, bring you along here for this adventure. Everybody dreads. I did the driver's side about 2 years ago, and it's time for this one. A lot of people say, why didn't you do them both? I just didn't have the time, and now's that time, so let's get into it. I'm gonna pull this drum off, get this hubcap off here, and drain the fluid. Usually about a quart and a half in there. Then there's a cap back here. Let me show you guys actually. So this is the cap. There's 3 screws we got to remove here, and there'll be a cap just like this as well on the bottom side here. You're going to have to do the same process. And I'm going to try to show you guys this process as much as I can, but I don't have a cameraman here today, and well, we'll do the best we can, I guess. I'm going to remove all these bolts as well. That will get us the backing plate free, and we'll pull that off. After that, there's a pinch pin right here. This thing can be quite difficult to get out. Hopefully it goes as smooth as the other one did. And then the other end of it's right there. We'll clean that up a little bit better. I tried to clean this up the best I could, so I could show you what's going on here. But yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get this drum off here and show you guys the process. Might have to be a few short videos, but I'll do the best I can. There's that. We gotta get these springs. These brake pads. Be able to get into these 4 bolts on this side, 4 bolts on this side to remove the backing plate. After we get this hub off, of course. So, stay tuned. Get that pin out first, and then it will relieve the tension off the spring. We can do the same thing on the bottom. There. That will actually loosen up the tension on these springs. We got to get out what I showed you earlier. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts that will loosen that cover. your cap. And there should be a seal there, but I guess mine is missing. That's hence why it's leaking. So, let me wash my hands here and I'll bring you a little closer. So this is your hub nut right here. And then there's a locking washer behind it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. So you gotta bend that metal plate down, and that will allow you to loosen your hub nut, axle nut, and be able to get that hub off there. I'm good for that. Alright, so. This bad boy in there. No way. Probably gonna get shit for this, but I think it's all I got. That big. So we'll see if we can make it work here. I know, yeah. Socket big enough for that. Future reference, a big monkey wrench works very well. That right there is your axle nut, your lock washer, and another washer. And you take these off as you keep them all together, stack them right up on top of each other, and you'll know what goes where in what order. So this nut right here, and this nut, you can't really mess it up when you put it back together, but there's these little tits on here that stick out, or one tit, and when you put them back together they gotta lock together, so you want to make sure that that's sitting in there properly. hub bearing that comes out next. Taper it in towards the hub. I'm gonna keep that over right there while it drains out. Your hub should pop right off. I'm good at that. Making a mess. That's probably gonna go right through there, but no one. Oh, there she goes. Perfect. So now we get these 4 bolts out here I showed you earlier. And the backing plate should come right off. And the spindle up, guys. You want to clean up everything really well. Make sure there's no gouges or damage from bad bearings or anything like that. That cleaned up really good before we put everything back together. Yeah. Let's see if we can break those suckers free. Make sure you guys are still with us. Yes, sir. Oh, everything was going here. Don't mind my mess, will you? Alright, so 15/16 is what it is. And here we go. So, let's try this again. With a full 8 out. Come in. Here we go. Oh, baby, what a different story. She wrote. Yeah, let's say that battery was about smoke. Go back to the top of the bell. What a difference, huh? side. Switch things up, yeah. I guess I don't probably need it, do I? Oh, wait, she's right. So, put all these babies together. Clean everything up when you're done taking it apart. That's going to make your life a lot better. And he sees everything. It'll be the best decision you ever make. I'll show you what that is if you don't know. So, one bolt. And here she comes. And get those caps off there. So now we're going to take those 3 bolts and that top kingpin cap off, like I showed you before. And this guy right here. And tack that. Doesn't need much. There's those 3. Sure, the new kit comes with all these bolts. And that up. There's a seal in there too. There she is, mate. Do the same thing on the bottom. Don't I love working on big trucks? Don't have to worry about braking too much. Oh boy. Oh, it's gonna be a wrench. Still with us, 35 minutes. That's pretty good for a rookie like me. It's almost about that time. The time you guys have been waiting for. Need to pound that kingpin out of there. They're all hoping I suffer, I bet. But the last one was actually pretty smooth. I heard all these horror stories. Oh, you can pound on that for 3 days. That's never going to come out of there. Good luck. You're screwed. Blah, blah, blah. I heard it all. But they practically fell out for me. This one will too. Really dry. I think I'm gonna have to pull out a little yellow here. See what are you gonna break something? Or she's gonna come for you? Hey, she blows. That's being a silly Saturday. Yeah, there's your backing plate. It's all coming back to me. Hang that right there. Well, there. Oh, yellow, let me let me down. Oh, brute strength and ignorance will overcome even the hardest of obstacles. I think it might be time for a new pair of gloves. Now, the part I drew, that pinch pin. Remember that pin I showed you in there? This can be tricky. This pin right here goes through and there's a tapered edge. And as you tighten it, it gets tighter as well. And it locks that kingpin in there. There's a little groove that slides through. Everything has to line up. So that's the back side of it. Right there. We're gonna get that out now. 41 minutes, that's pretty good. Be nice if I could get that out of there within an hour. Doing pretty good for a rookie. Alright. Freaking mash you made. Clean that off real good. A little zapper with WD that doesn't work. Now, that looks pretty good. So, let's say a prayer that this cooperates with us. Gas name's Honey. And boy, isn't she sweet. It's got a 350 big can. 375 horsepower. That goes right, producing 140. Dash 5 LCR. Weighs about 38,000 pounds. She does good. She does real good. Tandem axle. And we'll go 100 miles an hour. But we never get rid of her. She's been an awful good trot. If I get a new one, I don't think I can part with her. So guys, with this pinch pin, I'm gonna show you. This light. Let's show this light on. The nut, right? You want to back it off. I want to take it off and put it back on like I did. And then I put that just about there so that you don't hit the edge of the pin. You don't want to do that because you might not get it back through. This has to come out this way, I believe. I know it goes that way. I don't know. Either way, we got to hit it, break it free. So just below the surface so you don't mushroom that. Now we're going to beat her. Beat on her a little bit. And see what happens. She loves me. Now I'm gonna go grab a tap. I have faith. Now I'm gonna go grab a tap. Push this through the rest of the way. Just so slightly. And here she be. Wow. That right there is the pinch pin. I don't know if you can see it. It's got a tapered flat side, and that goes in there and locks in that kingpin. There it is. Now, it's the fun part. We get to beat it. I think, if I remember correctly, this can go down through. I'm open. Oh, beautiful. Rest of that cap off there. There's that. Oh, yeah. No, I gotta pull the tie rod. So. I'm sure anybody watching this video at this point knows how to remove a castle nut and car key, but I'll show you just in case. Right here is your castle nut, and then you have a car key. I'm gonna tell couple springs in here. I don't know if you can see them, but of course this looks there. There's a couple springs right there, and I'm sure everybody knows how to get those out. You gotta get that top hook off. and that bottom hook off.
We're almost to the exciting part. But yeah, I gotta pop off that steering linkage, and I'll show you that. Let's get back into it here. We're almost there. Oh, it goes smooth as head. So we're gonna get this castle nut off here. And this collet key with the flathead screwdriver and a 2-pound hammer. Pull that right out. No. She's gonna fight us. Oh boy. This brake goes off, I guess. I'll punch that out. After I get the castle nut off there, I'll clean that out. I'll have to get that garter key out, just clean out the hole that goes through and hold that castle nut on there. So hopefully with a little fork, we can get that guy out there. That one right there. There's that. Let's see if we can get this steering linkage undone. And you don't want that to drop to the ground, so slide that axle on there. I expected to get hung up. But this part of it. Alright. See, this is against the stuff that you guys don't see. Everybody edits this stuff out. It won't look good. Unfortunately, I'm trying to show you these parts and how we overcome them. But this one is not letting go. Put a little concentrated heat.
Around this area right here, and try not to heat up this boot. You don't want to melt that. This is going to be hard. Here we go.
He's just real slow. We want to use that, help that boot. I'm just at the dog away, so I'll just direct that heat away from the boom. Try that. Surprise, sometimes it can be touchy, but sometimes not. Sometimes you don't need a bunch of heat. You smell hot. She is being stubborn. Let's just say that was a struggle. The struggle was real. I have pounded this thing and pounded this thing and pounded and pounded and pounded and pounded, and it has not come out. By far the hardest nut I have ever freed out of a socket, by far. I've moved it about, an inch. But as I was pounding that, because one of my processes, and I'll show you this in a video later, because that's kind of what my focus is the parts you struggle on that you never see. This was by far a lot harder than the other side, just because of this castle nut that practically fell out on the other side. But I put it on here and pounded that back and forth, and took it over to the vise. I made chisels, found chisels I didn't even know I had, and broke chisels, made custom chisels to try to get this castle nut out of the socket, and I could not do it. I haven't done it yet. I'll do it, but it's going to take me a little bit. And at this point, I think I'll go buy a new socket and a new castle nut, and it would be a lot easier. At this point, I'm going to count it a loss. But in the process, the steering linkage fell right out. Wouldn't you know it? So anyway, I'm going to take the needle gun to this and clean it up, but this is the fun part. This is the part everybody wants to see, how this kingpin comes out of here. And that's where we're at. So we'll see what happens, I guess. We'll put some gloves on here and we'll get started. I'm gonna fall on my sword here and tell you what I did. So with this kingpin, pinch pin, there's two of them, and I forgot the bottom one. So I rounded it over a little bit, and I got quite a bit of movement on the kingpin, so I'm hoping there's no further damage. But I'm going to continue to pound that out and see what happens. See if we can get that thing out of it. This is dragging on, baby, dragging on. Here we go. Oh, safety first. That's better. crazy when you do things right. That's on the other side, but maybe it's a little harder. So, kingpin is down at the bottom of the knuckle. I'm going to grab this piece of stainless here. And this 3/4 inch stainless rod. Works pretty good actually. Change the excavator buckets if you don't have a cooking pad. Now, that kingpin is about to fall out of there, so we don't want this steering knuckle to come unglued on us. So just be careful. I'm going to try to keep it in place as I get it out of there. There it is. The dreaded horror is over. Well, all in all, it wasn't really that bad. I made a couple boo-boos and I paid for them. But now this knuckle should pop right off here, like so. And don't lose your shims. There's a shim there. I guess this only has one on the bottom, but there's your knuckle. There's your bearing. That sits like that, and that sits like that. On that rod right there. So I'm gonna take this to the bench, clean it all up, and let me show you these copper. I'll show you the process anyway, getting these out of here with the air chisel and all that. That'll be a second phase of the video, the series I should say, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do a series just for cleaning this up, cleaning up all the bolts and nuts and getting this cleaned up. I'll show you the process of getting these copper races out of here, and we'll start putting it back together. But for tonight, I think that's going to be a wrap. Stay tuned for phase 2. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Remember, together we rise.